I do like to sing. I've been active in my church choir since I was in my 20s. So,
Oh, nice.
People are surprised every now and then when I'll get up at an event and sing. So I do enjoy singing. That's a fun hobby.
All right, now, Mayor, now that you know we got a microphone in front of you now.
I'll pass. Hadn't been practicing for this.
Welcome to the Aerotropolis Atlanta podcast. I am Shannon James, your president and CEO, and we're very fortunate to bring this podcast today from our sponsors at the Development Authority of Fulton County, who have been avid supporters of the Aerotropolis since day one. And so today, we are extremely excited to bring to you one of our favorite mayors of the Aerotropolis, who have been engaged since the very, very beginning of the even thought of the concept of an Aerotropolis in our area, Mayor of the City of Hapeville, Allan Hallman. Mayor, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Shannon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, Mayor. How's everything going in your world these days? Huh?
We're rocking along. Everything's going great in Hapeville.
Yes, it is. You guys are rocking and rolling, literally. And Mayor, before we jump in there, right, before we let the city and our listeners know all about the great things in the city, let's take a step back, right? Let's understand who you are, right? Who's Allan Hallman, the mayor of the City of Hapeville? Let our listeners know about you, your background, where you went to school, maybe your hobbies. What do you like, doing when nobody's watching? Help our listeners know who you are, Allan.
Well, I was born in Hapeville and attended Hapeville High School.
Nice.
I started a security and fire alarm systems company when I was in high school, so I've been running that business for 41 years now.
Oh, man.
I am fourth generation in the city, so I've grown up here. I never moved. And I've just taken a very active interest in the city of Hapeville. It means a lot to me just to give back to the community that has meant so much to me in my life. My hobbies, I enjoy computers and amateur radio and electronics. I like to tinker with that kind of stuff.
Oh, man, you got a beautiful mind on you. That's what it sounds like, Mayor.
We'll see.
Man, born and raised in Hapeville, so you have literally watched the city, not only the city, but the region just kind of evolve, right, over time. And what are your thoughts now that you've grown up in the city and now you're in leadership and you're able to kind of, see the city in a different perspective than most because,
Right.
A lot of people aren't from the area. And so to find someone who was born and raised, I would just love to get your take on just what has evolved as the city of Hapeville now that you've grown and become a leader of the city.
Well, I think for the first time in the history of the South Side is now beginning to get the credit that she deserves.
That's right, Mayor.
And we are a shining star, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. I've seen Hapeville lose half of her footprint and half of her population to the airport.
Wow.
However, that very engine is the engine that drives our economy.
That's right.
So Hapeville's poised, being on the north end of the airport, we're very poised to take advantage of that. And it's been very exciting for me to watch as we've been able to benefit from the economic power that Hartsfield-Jackson delivers to our region.
That's right. It is a true economic engine, right? The most powerful in the state. You're talking about over $70 billion of just economic impact, and it is truly a generator of growth and development, and I think it has been a catalyst for the city of Hapeville. And so, Mayor, knowing that you've grown up here, right, and you're recognizing that the city of Hapeville is getting the recognition it deserves. Let's take a step back even further, right? Help our listeners understand something that they don't know about Mayor Hallman. Do you play the ukulele? I mean, do you like to sing in the shower?
I do actually like. I do like to sing. I've been active in my church choir since I was in my 20s. So,
oh, nice.
People are surprised every now and then when I'll get up at an event and sing. So I do enjoy singing. That's a fun hobby.
All right, now, Mayor. Now that we got a microphone in front of you now.
I'll pass. Hadn't been practicing for this. So.
I understand. Trust me. I totally understand. So Mayor, I think our listeners know now. You may get tugged on the shoulder every once in a while. Hey, man, can I hear a little tune? But for us, Mayor, you've been at the realm for quite a bit now, and watching the city grow, watching the city get the recognition and a region that is the acknowledgement it deserves. Help our listeners understand your role as the mayor, right? What is it? You're tasked with doing from council, from the city. Help us understand your role.
Well, I'm the face of the city of Hapeville when it comes to being as an elected official, the chief elected official. So I try to foster the councils along to kind of share a little bit of the history that I've grown up with. I think it's important when new people come around, new people come on board, and new people become elected officials that may not have the history that I have. I think it's important for that history to be part of the discussion as we move forward, because you don't get where you are as a community by accident.
That's right.
You get there by being I consider myself a servant leader. I'm not in this for any accolades. I'm not in this to advance my political career. I have no desire to move anywhere politically. I just want to give to my city, and I want to shepherd our councils along and support our staff and support the initiatives that will continue to move Hapeville forward.
Well, I tell you what, Mayor, you are the true symbolism of leadership, because it is consistent. Whoever I talk to in the city, they're always holding you in very high regard. And I think being a servant, like you mentioned, right, when you're out being a servant, you're not thinking about, me or I. It's about us and we, and how can we as a group, become better. And so I think that just speaks volumes of not just who you are, but the legacy you set on people around you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Mayor. So with that being said, working with the council, being the face, help our listeners understand some of the objectives for 2019, even 2020, for the city of Hapeville, whether it's getting certain projects advanced, or I'm not really sure. Help our listeners understand.
Well, we're at a culmination point right now for a lot of projects that have been on the burner for some time. Two of the most prominent projects that are wrapping or nearing completion now. One is the Academy Theater project. We had started that project, and we had a roof collapse that delayed us for a couple of years. And now that project, we're hoping, is going to get finished sometime in July. That's a very exciting project for the city, where we've revamped what used to be a hardware store and a building adjacent to that for the Academy Theater. The Academy Theater has been a great economic catalyst for us to bring some vibrancy to our downtown. The second project is the Rail Corridor Improvement Project that's on North Central and Portia Drive. And that's been a very important project for us, because it actually brings some beautification and some safety features to the railroad. Nothing wrong with the railroad, but they're not. The railroad's not the most attractive piece of hardware you'll have in your community. So this project has enabled us to do some screening along the railroad, some fencing, to help protect pedestrian safety and whatnot. So that's a very, very exciting project, because it includes some stormwater improvements and new paving and whatnot. So it's been very, very exciting to see that project. Another project is the Loop Road Gateway project that we're finishing up as well. New curb and gutter and sidewalks and whatnot off of the Loop Road side of Hapeville as that gateway improves.
Man, I tell you, a lot of good work going on, Mayor. You in infrastructure. I mean, I hope our listeners are hearing. Anytime you're investing in infrastructure in the city, that's long term. You're talking 40, 50 years. I mean, that's real visionary. But I'd love to take a step back, because you mentioned something that our organization, Aerotropolis, is very much keen, and we're trying to take even more advancements towards, and that's arts and culture. And the city of Hapeville has just done a fantabulous job of really just creating this space of the sense of place around arts and culture. Can you help our listeners understand what does arts and culture mean to the city of Hapeville, and what it has done towards the economic vibrancy of the city?
Well, arts and culture help create a sense of place and bring a quality of life to our residents and visitors. I have been astounded to watch how much the arts have done for Hapeville. Again, with the Academy Theater coming in, with art crawls, with galleries that have been set up. We've got a couple of shipping container galleries, little small galleries that have been set up.
Nice.
And when we have these art crawl events, I'm astounded at the people and how far they come to visit Hapeville. So that gives you a sense of place and a sense of identity, and you want to be there when you get there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's been a very, very important, critical part of our success as a community.
Well, I tell you, it's evident. I'm somewhat of an art collector myself. I'm tiptoeing in it, right? And I am always just very pleased at the intentionality for the city around arts and culture. And I think the region is taking notice, to be quite honest. And I just want to, give you guys kudos on that, because you guys are the pioneers, and you're investing in it, and you're very intentional about it, and it's going to yield some serious results. I think we all are.
It already is. It already is.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So, Mayor, with that being said, just thinking about economic development, right? Because arts and culture, gives you that momentum, and the city is on fire right now. You guys have Porsche Cars North America headquarters, just literally is the catalyst of our organization, right? And you guys have done a really good job of just making it very inviting to do more business with Porsche, because they've exceeded expectations.
Yes.
They're growing, they're expanding in the city, and they're wanting to do business with the city. And so help our listeners understand, the significance of Porsche and what it has done for the city. Now even the new Kempton Hotel, who are proud members now, the AERO Atlanta Alliance, and next to it is opportunity as well. So help our listeners understand that the significance of a Fortune 500 international brand in the backyard of your city. What has done for you guys?
Well, Porsche Cars North America has definitely put the city of Hapeville on the map, even though their facility is technically in the city of Atlanta.
Right.
On the city of Atlanta portion of the old Ford site. They have really shown that the South Side is a place to come and do business.
That's right.
They kicked the football for us.
Yes, they did.
And I was very when I got the phone call that they were going to be coming to that site, once I stopped laughing, a few days after that, I realized that, yes, they really were.
They're serious.
And that really, when the city of Hapeville lost the Ford Motor Company, we lost a 60-year corporate client, a great corporate citizen, our largest taxpayer, our second largest employer. So it was a really, really sad day when we lost Ford, but it was a very exciting day when Porsche Cars North America announced their headquarters on that site. And something else that's fascinated me is the success of their driver experience track. And talk about destination. I think that's the most important thing for a city, is to have a reason for people to come.
That's right, man.
The arts is one thing, but the Porsche Cars North America is like a millionaire's playground.
Yes,
People
it is.
love to come play, and I don't remember the exact number of visitors they had last year, but year before last, I think it was 40,000.
It was.
So,
they exceeded expectations.
and so that's been very exciting for us to watch. And what we're trying to do now is capitalize on that.
That's right.
Let's capitalize on those people coming. We helped out with the Kempton with some tax incentives, and so we're very excited about Porsche and about the Kempton, because it's redefined the landscape
It really
of Hapeville, but it's also redefined the landscape of the South Side in general.
Absolutely. Mayor, man, you are hitting all the points. And I tell you, for anyone who hasn't experienced Porsche's drive experience, man, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
Because you're talking about going around a track almost like a roller coaster in one of the most prestigious vehicles that you can think of, the most sustainable, durable automobiles known to man. And I want to give a special shout out, Mayor, to our chairman emeritus, Mr. Joe Foltz of Porsche Cars North America. Joe has been, no question, our leader, a visionary of our organization, and he is truly a huge advocate of the South Side, the Aerotropolis, the city of Hapeville, the citizens, the quality of life. And we just want to pause and just give Joe Foltz the kudos, the recognition he deserves. And I hope he's listening out here.
I hope he is too. He's
because
a great
we
man.
miss him. We miss him big time.
Yes, we do.
Man, oh man, Joe Foltz. And so with that being said, Kempton, we heard the Kempton, and I don't think people realize Kempton, right? Because this is a product totally outside of their scope, their strategy, because they're a big time downtown big city product. And so for them to come to the city of Hapeville next to an airport is like totally outside of their scope.
Right.
And so I want to just give you, Mayor, and the council, the entire team, extreme kudos, because the effort that you guys put forth to land the Kempton here, I want to make sure it doesn't go unrecognized. This is a big deal.
I think so.
Big
agree.
deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Been a tremendous asset to the city.
They will be, no question.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, Mayor, knowing that Hapeville isn't the largest city, but you guys are a big bang for your buck, what type of development for the existing areas of land that are available that the city is looking to attract? What type of developments that you guys are looking to bring now?
Well, we've got a lot of infill housing development going on right now, some townhouse projects and whatnot. But on the commercial side, Hapeville's not a big box warehouse kind of town. We just don't have enough developable land for big box type projects. Mm-hmm. However, office, mixed use, corporate campus type facilities that's definitely a very attractive development for us.
That speaks to our mantra, Mayor. I mean, our organization is very focused on, we understand we're next to the airport, right? You're going to naturally have logistics, and there's areas that should be very well intended for that, and we want to advocate that.
Absolutely.
But when you're in areas that you have a higher and best use, especially in cities like Hapeville, right? You want to maximize those highest and best uses. So I love the fact that you mentioned mixed use development, because they create a sense of recession proof diversity, if you will, where you've got retail, residential, office.
Right. It
kind of feeds its own ecosystem versus having a one-off. And if the economy kind of tanks, and if it's an industry heavily impacted, it will roll over.
Absolutely.
So I love the fact that you guys are thinking very intentional around mixed use. So we want to do everything we can to help in that regard. Help our listeners understand, Mayor, if they're looking to locate their company, if they're looking to move and find a home in the city of Hapeville, what would be some of your points to emphasize on why to locate their business or why to move to Hapeville?
Well, from a residing in Hapeville standpoint, Hapeville's still somehow we've managed to maintain a small town charm, even though we're in the midst of the aerotropolis, if you will. And with Atlanta at our front door and the world's busiest airport at our back door, Hapeville still has a small town charm and a small town feel, and that's people find that very comforting.
Absolutely.
And it's a great asset for us. From the commercial side, for people wanting to develop maybe their headquarters here or office here or whatever, the city is very responsive when it comes to any ordinance changes. For example, we attracted a brewery, Arch's Brewery.
Special shout out to Arch's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
one of my faves.
Yeah, me too.
But what brought them to us was our willingness to very quickly take a look at our ordinances and make the allowances in our ordinances that facilitated their ability to open. We did the same thing with Alexia and Eric when they came into town with Beer Girl. We did the same thing, and we've created we were talking about the arts earlier. One of the things we've done is we've created an arts district that we've relaxed some of the alcohol restrictions, so folks during an art crawl can have an alcoholic beverage and walk from place to place within a certain footprint.
That's right.
So cities, you have to be adaptable, and we try to be very quick to respond when someone has a special need, like zoning need or whatnot, and we can respond quickly because we're a small town and we can get it done. It won't take a year like it does in other municipalities. We'll get it done in weeks, literally.
And you know what? Speaking from experience and being on the other end, Mayor is telling the truth, guys. It kind of boggles my mind to watch the mayor and their efficiency with the council to get things done. And especially when it makes sense. They're kind of the common sense approach where it makes sense for the city, it makes sense for the residents, it makes sense for the leadership. You guys open the door, and I've watched you guys in action. So big time kudos to you, Mayor, and council, Lee, Tim, everybody on the staff.
You got a great team.
You got a great team.
Really
you got a fantastic team. And I think it just shows how well you guys have been able to be successful in the region. Mayor, I know I mentioned earlier, the city of Hapeville were early adopters of the aerotropolis. Help our listeners maybe understand our partnership and what it has done for, to assist the city in its initiatives towards growing, expanding, creating the sense and the buzz and the helping people understand what's happening in our backyards. Help our listeners understand what the aerotropolis has done for the city.
Well, I think with we mentioned the economic engine of the airport earlier.
Absolutely.
And the aerotropolis concept, once it was brought to my attention early on, I was immediately drawn to it because the narrative does need to be told.
That's right.
And
tell them, Mayor.
The appropriate not all cities want the same thing. We talked
Right,
about that
right.
earlier
Absolutely.
as well. Not all cities want big box logistics, but
That's right.
others do.
That's
Others
right.
have the land. So
That's right.
the Aerotropolis is like a clearinghouse for these cities to sit down at the table, work together, work on zoning, work on marketing. And it's been a great banner to fly for the South Side, and I've been very pleased to be a part of it.
Well, Mayor, when we've got leaders like you waving the flag, it's easy to move forward, right? And I think, leaders like yourself and Mayor Longino and Mayor Vince Williams, Tom Reed, Bodie, Hurst, Holiday, Ingram, I can go on and on, right? And I hope I didn't leave anybody off. Mayor Bill Edwards, I can go on and on for South Fulton, but it has just been a pleasure working with all of the leaders here and seeing the vision of real regionalism, right? Understanding that each city has its own uniqueness, but how do we play our music together, right? Collectively.
Right.
And you're right, being a clearinghouse organization has been a very big asset for us, and we enjoy it. And Gerald McDowell will probably get over here and say the same thing I'm saying. But it just feels good to have this partnership and collaboration going, and it's only leading us in one direction, right?
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
We're cooking with gas.
But that's right. We're on fire, man.
Yes, we are.
So is there anything, Mayor, I know we've talked about a lot, right? Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to make sure our listeners hear, know, feel, anything that we may have missed?
No, I'm just really excited that we have, as a region, we have gotten to where we are today.
That's right.
And I look forward to continuing to work together with my brothers and sisters in our other cities. Transportation continues to be a constant point of discussion, and we need to continue to work regionally to solve those issues as well. So I'm very excited, as I said earlier, to be a part of the Aerotropolis. I'm very excited to be in my 21st year of service to my citizens as an elected official. And more than likely, I'm going to sign up in November to do it again. So.
I hope you heard it here first, everyone. Mayor Allan
More than likely.
Okay, I know we had to take.
Got to give me a little wiggle room.
I know, right? Open it up for an opportunity to go left. I
There you
understand.
go.
Trust me, I understand totally. Well, and you know what, Mayor, you hit something that I want to make sure our listeners really hear, and that's transportation, right?
Right.
Connectivity.
Yes.
That is something that, a banner we've been pushing really hard. And coming from, respected leaders like yourself, when you say transportation, it resonates. And so our hope is that, as we continue to move forward around connectivity in our region, whether it's the commuter rail or MARTA, BRT, I hope Chris Tomlinson at the ATL Transit and Jeff at MARTA are listening to us. Because we're screaming down here, right?
We are.
We're standing on the top of Hartsfield Jackson, and we're saying, hey, we have a ecosystem here that is really in need of better connectivity, and I think now we have the right tools in place with various CIDs. We've got Fulton Industrial, we've got the Aerotropolis CID, we've got South Fulton CID, we've got the cities now working collectively together. And we're growing, so now we've got to figure out this connectivity.
Absolutely.
And so I want to thank you for that, Mayor, for putting that out there.
Thank you.
Seriously. Are there any events or anything happening in the city that you would like to make mention?
Well, we have a car show that got rained out this past weekend.
Oh, man.
So look for us in July for that.
Okay, nice.
We keep an eye on our website for art crawls and music events that are coming up.
That's right.
We try to during the summer months open the city up and bring some people in. Enjoy the summer weather, and
That's right.
We have a fall festival coming up. I don't have all the dates right in front of me right now, but keep an eye on our website. We're out there. Watch social media.
Speaking of, Mayor,
Yes.
that's a perfect segue. How can our listeners find you, connect with you, the city, email, web address? How can they find you or the city?
Well, the web address for Hapeville is hapeville.org. We are on Twitter, of course. I am on Facebook, Mayor Allan Hallman. I'm on Twitter under Allan Hallman. My email address is ahallman@hapeville.org. And our phone number at City Hall is 404-669-2100. So reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome, Mayor. Well, I can't thank you enough again for taking time out of your busy
My pleasure.
schedule.
Thank you.
You are I think, a testimony of real leadership. You've been always consistent with not just us, but the region, and I just want to thank you for being a loyal servant.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Seriously,
it's been
man.
a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, you guys have heard it here first. You understand now why Mayor Hallman has been so efficient, and the city of Hapeville is doing so many great things behind his leadership, and we're very fortunate to have the city of Hapeville continuing to be advocates and leaders of the Aerotropolis Atlanta Alliance, and we're fortunate to have him join us today. Thank you for tuning in again to the Aerotropolis Atlanta podcast. My name is Shannon James, your president and CEO, and we want to thank our sponsors today, the Development Authority of Fulton County, who continue to be advocates and supporters of our mission to bring regional economic competitiveness. And if you've heard something today that you want to continue to subscribe and follow, seriously, follow us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or even go to our webpage at www.aeroatl.org, or follow us on LinkedIn, AERO ATL, and you can find us, you can find this podcast, and so much more information about the Aerotropolis Atlanta Initiative. We want to thank you again for joining us, and we also want to make sure to help you land here and take off. Thank you.